Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Woke Wednesdays. Hopefully, we got a good one for today. Daughter of Otten set us up a nice list. I've been going all day long. I just got back here like a half an hour ago. I had to feed the dogs and get set up for this, so let's get into it. We have this first one's by who? Okay, another channel that we have.
The debate where we peel back the layers of woke wisdom. Like and subscribe, or you might just find yourself becoming the very thing you question.
Pansexual, I'm assuming. Yeah. You want to talk about that? What does pansexual mean?
Okay, this preacher here, it's another street preacher, and his name is Bo Diddles, right? Is it Bo Diddle? I think. Either way, he's also got the channel called The Trenches. And I think his girlfriend has a channel and everything else. He's another really good one.
Wait, is it him?
Yeah, this guy here is Bo. It's Bo.
Oh my god. I don't think I realized that.
What does it mean to you?
It means liking anybody for just their personalities rather than who they are.
Does that include animals?
Not really.
Not really, but maybe a little bit, because you said really. Maybe a little?
I love animals, but I would not be sexually attracted to them at all, no.
Do you think it's okay, though, if someone is?
If that's what they like, you can argue with it, but at the end of the day, it's their choice, and you can just let them be and just kind of ignore them.
A wokey sees no issue with extreme personal lifestyle choices. At what point do personal freedoms collide with public concerns?
People are uncomfortable with things that they are not educated on. We don't talk about it enough, and so a lot of people don't know how to approach things like this.
They're scared because it's different to them, and they don't like to
So
go beyond their bubbles.
I think a lot of people just don't understand, and there's like a lot of fear mongering. So what they do know is like a very limited perspective, or is from a very.
As I was just telling Daughter of Otten, so far the only one I recognize has been Bo. I don't recognize any of these other preachers.
I don't know if are they preachers or are they commentators? Because there's one that I'll recognize from later, but it's a blonde girl. Her name is Liberty.
Liberty? Okay. Yeah, it's young guys.
Particular lens.
People are scared of what they don't know about, and they're just uneducated, and they don't make the efforts to educate themselves.
Yeah, and how do you think we change that? Is that something we would go to the schools?
I think we can introduce more education in the schools and things like health classes, but I think a lot of places are really against that. Just they're against sex ed and all that in general. So it's hard, but I think the schools would be a good place to start.
It requires some education to move past that in order to challenge the belief that you hold. It might be a true belief, but it's that belief is informed by information that if they were to be educated about or were to seek more information about, it might challenge.
They're pushing for programs on dating transgender individuals. It's about understanding, or maybe it's overstepping.
Laws that are taking place when it comes to trans youth, LGBTQ.
My biggest, most recent one that has just had me floored, my son is a student at West Texas A&M, and the president of the university just recently canceled a drag show that was scheduled to be done on campus
as a fundraiser
for the Trevor Project. And he said no, and he issued an entire letter and everything.
I say good to that. They should not, I don't care, college, high school, whatever. You should not have the drag shows involved with any of the schools. It's a whole separate thing. Fundraiser, just for fun, whatever. It should not be done.
I don't know if this is the one because I wasn't paying attention, but there is one where they're we're pretty openly sexual with our kids, and there's plenty of kids here at the Pride Parade, and I think that's how it should be. They should be.
No, you should not.
They're under the age of 9.
Yeah, there should not be kids at any of these Pride Parades. I mean, I'm all for letting them have their space to do what they want.
So you can go do your thing. If
yeah,
you want to go do your thing.
That's fine. But when you're dragging kids in to manipulate,
these were in the parade.
Yeah.
And flags.
Well, it's just like the. I'm trying to find a way to say it without saying it. The opening ceremonies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was what was in that?
That's true. I think you can say you just can't show footage.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was kids there too.
Mm-hmm. And it's they open and the rule and all this.
Yeah.
Sancho's here.
Hey Sancho, good to see you.
In human form.
Missed your last, what was it, Friday?
I think it was Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Missed you that day, man. Trump.
To all of the students, faculty, and the staff of the university. He compared drag shows to being, they were comparable to making fun of women like blackface was.
Huh.
I mean, like the comparisons. And so you've got a public university that was saying, you can't do this because of the president's Christian values.
Drag shows stir up debate, cultural celebration, or unintended mockery. Sometimes, imitation isn't the sincerest form of flattery.
We should sterilize autistic kids. Shut the f*** up. You think we should sterilize autistic?
All right, I know this guy, but I can't think of his name. I've seen a lot of his work, and he's good.
Stuff too.
He's good. But he asks more serious questions.
Right.
He gets to the point.
Why are you so angry?
Because you're a idiot.
Why can't you have a dialogue?
There's a lot of loving, kind-hearted people here.
Like you?
I don't get to talk to
people. Are you loving and kind-hearted?
We have to import you, mother.
Are you loving and kind?
You. You're a idiot.
Okay, yeah, he was with this guy.
I don't need to. You guys need air for this to work. Get your clicks.
We're advocating for the cutting into children's bodies. Give us one argument.
Shut up. You're all
one good argument.
No, shut the up.
What?
I don't want to argue. I don't want to change your mind.
That's so funny. They can't handle anything. It's like, that's all they'll start saying. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. No, 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 shut up. And that's it.
They won't even.
You try to talk to them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. They won't even entertain the idea of a conversation. It's
No.
like it doesn't go both ways. It's just like you hear me, I get loud, or I walk away. You know, that's usually the end result is the walking away. Is he about to?
No, battery life's 20%.
Is it too low for you?
It just dimmed.
Well, it was better than that. Do you have a charger?
Tristan, I need a charger for this thing.
I can force it. It usually lasts. But just in case.
Yeah, can you get a charger hooked up to this? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Discussions heat up around the suitability of puberty blockers for children, science or sensitivity. Which should lead the way?
Saying like we're tired of straight white men in society is really as like explicit as it sounds. I think it's just contributing to a general idea that like we're tired of straight white men having the power and everything, you know. And it's like we as women of color, as like students at this university, like we're very much capable of certain things, and we don't have the same privileges that are offered to straight white men.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of the ladies that I've been talking to today. Talk to me about what some of those privileges are that, you know, straight white men have that you don't have. Talk to me about that.
I think I don't really know. Have you ever experienced like a specific instance?
I don't know, but I also need to go.
I know, I do
I
need
gotta
to
go. I gotta go.
Struggling to pinpoint what privileges she lacks compared to white men. One activist might need a reality check on actual inequality.
Tell us what you guys identify as. We're asking everyone here today.
Gay, cis, what is it? Cisgender male. There we go.
I don't know. Gender neutral or gender fluid. I think that's what they said. I don't know. I'm confused.
Sorry. There we go.
So you identify as gender fluid?
I don't know.
Pronouns are he, him. Sometimes you.
Identity confusion is all the rage among wokies. Perhaps a little less philosophy and a bit more practicality might clear things up.
I absolutely love it. I work at a Montessori daycare, and we are very open sexuality based with our children. We have several children that are non-binary, very queer, and it's just a beautiful community, so I love to see it here as well. It's just a full expression. They get the chance to see such a diverse culture. They get the chance.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you want your kids to be shown. You go with this woke agenda of a daycare center having diverse roles. You know, we have kids that are all of this stuff, and they don't even know what the hell they're saying. And then they're walking around in a parade with somebody like this.
Yeah, and it's
Do you see this?
I mean, I saw it earlier. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, she literally said that it was a daycare and they're
Yeah.
like openly sexual.
With their children.
They said that.
Yes.
Like, they didn't even try to hide it.
No.
You know, it's like gross.
It's like, I agree that you should not shelter kids from severe sexuality things.
It's
Like, go out of your way to do it.
It should be. I mean, it should be like a nature-based thing.
Yes.
Like with Guru, he's known for a really long time because he's grown up around animals and he sees the breeding cycle and the animal husbandry and everything.
Yes.
It's a nature-based thing. And then as they start to get older, then you start to give in the nuances between human relationships and animal relationships, and the fact that it's something that's sacred, that's something that should be like respected.
Yeah, you don't just go and do it every other day.
No, and it's just it's not like it's not this. It's not like, oh, let's just talk about sex anytime that you want. It should be like a natural, nature-based thing. Definitely not sheltered, but not that.
Not that. Not this. I mean.
Yeah, let me bring up the chat here. Extra shit.
Chance to be open to whatever their body or their mind is telling themselves. They get to learn that at such a young age.
Some defend the content at LGBTQ parades, no matter who's watching. Freedom of expression or a time for discretion.
Care for young people has to do with, puberty blockers and all those kinds of things, which are incredibly reversible. They don't necessarily mean, I'm going to chop your off. If you allow them to go through puberty, their voice is going to drop and all those kinds of things, and that allows them to not be cis-passing, which can be detrimental to their safety. Puberty blockers are completely reversible.
I'm not a doctor, obviously. I've heard that they're not reversible.
I love how everybody tries to say that these puberty blockers are reversible when they are not. It is proven that they are not, but somehow still they'll say, well, they're reversible.
Yeah, I know. I was watching.
They're safe.
Watching a whole thing about that today.
Yeah.
Live action, talking about it was a trans child's experience with what their parents and the doctors did to them, and how now their life is screwed up.
Netflix?
No.
No?
On YouTube. Live action. So, yeah.
That's something else, though. I mean, they're ruining kids' lives who don't even have a say in what they do.
Yeah.
It's sad.
That it does cause serious and permanent changes.
It is reversible. I've known multiple people to reverse I'm going to say detransition, and I know they are happy.
Claims that puberty blockers are fully reversible spark fierce debates. Let's sort out fact from hopeful fiction.
Do you think the parents have any role in when their kids should be allowed to transition? Or do you think maybe parents can get in the way of what a child's identity is?
I think that parents can definitely hinder their children sometimes, like especially if they've already kind of proven that they're not supportive. Some people don't feel safe enough to trust their parents with that information. So I almost feel like it really depends on like what relationship you already have, like with your parents. If you don't have a
all I can say about this one is I get a completely she's fucked up vibe.
Yep, that's most of them.
I mean, you just look at that. Look at the way that she is hiding herself. And she's cowering when the guy's asking this question.
Yeah. And
I mean, just look at this stance right here that I paused it on.
Yeah, she's screwed up, dude. Lots of traumas and stuff there, and I think it does come down to that generation having a complete and total distrust for their parents.
Yes.
Because they were not open enough.
That's true.
But it's like,
But you have to break the cycle.
Yeah, right.
You have to be better than the last.
I was doing a lot of research for the Child Free by Choice segment that we want to do as well. And it's like, okay, maybe 5% of the comments that I saw were valid of why they didn't want to continue their family line and everything because of like genetic issues, like things that just couldn't be changed behaviorally. But for the most part, it was like I was raised with a mother who hated me. Because it was a subreddit about resentful parents, and then it was talking about like why it's better to be child-free choice because of this, because of the resentful parents. And it's like, what about correcting your family line?
Exactly, that's what you have to do.
And the rest of it was just based on I don't want to give up my freedom.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's just cheap. Nobody wants to struggle anymore.
No.
And there's bad struggle that happen and genuine traumas that happen, but you are supposed to.
You're supposed to find ways to work through all of them.
And overcome it and change it so that it doesn't just like end and it doesn't continue the way that it's been going either.
Exactly.
It's like you've learned that, I've learned that.
Yes, it's been a big learning process.
Yeah, we've done exact opposite of what
But see, they keep people so blind with all this medication out there I mean, we were just watching that one about the medication that's being imported now from China, and so it's making us have a
like
shortage.
Yeah, and then in the comments, they were talking about like I see like with the subreddit of that, it's like there is like I said, deep-seated trauma that's not being. They sound like chronically depressed people. Because
Yes.
people that are like not manic depressive, we're not going to say those sorts of things.
No, they're not.
And so in some of the comments, it was like every person they said that they knew was on some sort of antidepressant.
Well, of course. Because what's an
why.
easy way to control people?
Right.
What's an easy way to get somebody depressed that what may not be at the moment to get depressed?
Right, because
antidepressants.
How often does it say that this can make things worse? You might
Yeah.
get suicidal ideations and all that. And they're not only on like one type of antidepressant; they're like on 3 or 4 types of antidepressants.
Exactly. And then there was a whole combination that was going around when you were going to Kaiser, and they gave you, and you found out that like 2 or 3 other people
I
got.
can't remember what it was called. It was in the amitriptyline like genre. I went in there for pain management, and they're like, well, sometimes your pain can be caused by depression. And for sure I was having depression, but I think I was having depression more because I was having pain and unable to do the things I wanted to
for sure.
do. So then they just automatically gave me this whole 28-day free sample that I was supposed to. It was so weird. It's like you start off with 1, and then on the second day you took 2, and then on the second week, and then it worked up to like 4. It went the opposite of what you would think, right?
Yeah.
Like you would think it would start you on 4 and work your way down. And then I went and talked to 3 or 4 other people that had Kaiser insurance. They had on the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And they'd gone in for varying degrees of stuff, whether it was pain or actual depression or anxiety. They put them on the same medication.
See, this is another subject I want to hit on because we've got a lot to talk about on this one.
That one documentary, that one
Yeah.
movie we watched about them peddling this stuff.
Yes, for sure. It's big. Okay, Sancho says, hopefully this goes reported like a documentary on how bad the trans propaganda and methods have been, let alone the way these people who are in control should be a big sign on how chaotic and depressing our current society is.
It's like, I don't know what your political stance is, but, like, for us, we try to remain neutral, but it's impossible to deny that, like, the Democratic Party is pushing a lot of the stuff that is kind of against traditional values.
Yes.
And I watched a whole thing about the DNC today, and that they were doing free vasectomies.
Yes.
They did free abortions. They did between 10 and 25 different abortions in some mobile food truck looking thing, and they have huge, like, giant IUDs that are like outside the thing that are promoting all kinds of different birth control and stuff. And apparently Matt Walsh is there now undercover wearing his little man bun and stuff, so we have something to look forward to from him with that. But
I hope so, man. He's good.
a lot of it does come down to that political party.
Well, a nation that's supposed to stand together, what's the best way to tear it apart? The best way is to create these sections, woke, this, that, the left, right, that'll just pull each other apart.
Right. It's divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Destroy the nuclear family. Everything that we see is designed to destroy the nuclear family, whether it's targeting like women and children.
Yeah.
Right from the point of pre-birth to an adult woman. It's like that's the main thing that it's trying to chip away at. Make them more modern, make them independent, so that we can't support you anymore. You guys don't have the motivation, and then society is just like completely complacent.
Exactly.
And reliant on the government.
Yes. And I mean, really, with the whole Ovid thing, I don't know if you can say that
I think
still.
you can now.
But with that whole thing, they were pushing a society where it's all government funded.
Right.
They've started it
Right.
with those economic checks that they gave people. That was a trial. That they wanted to see just what would happen.
Right. And people spent it.
So expect a bigger thing to be coming.
It's like they'll have a thing where it's like, well, we got to shut the country down again. And it's like, I know you guys need to live, so here's this digital currency. And the digital currency will end up working so well that they'll end up getting rid of.
Yeah, they're like, well, we don't need money anymore. So, we're just going to go and do this now.
And then comes the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
And everything that follows. So it's like my advice is to step out of it, become self-sustainable.
So self-sustainability is the number one thing that you can do in a society that we live in right now.
learn how to trade.
Yes, barter trade.
Have some skills, some labor skills. You know, it's like I know that Sancho does landscaping and stuff. That's a valuable thing.
That is,
you know?
And like with YouTube, there's really not much that you can't do on your own anymore.
Exactly.
They've got so many walk you through that it's really good. Just I mean, unless you're not comfortable in that specific thing.
Right.
Like working on electrical in a car or something.
Right.
I mean, if you're not comfortable in that, then don't do it. It's too dangerous.
But I mean, even all the way down to childbirth. you
Yeah.
know, it's like I've been watching that stuff just in case. You know, it's like there's all this stuff people record.
Exactly.
How to deliver at home, how to deliver in a car, how to deliver on a plane. You know, all these emergency situations. So
because it happens.
Yeah, it does, and I'm glad that people have been there to record that.
Exactly. That's the new age. We live in an age where everything's recorded.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to become self-sustainable.
Yeah, you do.
So learn those skills and step away from it. You know.
Exactly.
Have a good relationship with them. They kind of really shouldn't have an opinion. They shouldn't affect what you do in your life.
Debates on parental rights in a child's transition ignite. Shouldn't parents have a say, or is autonomy only for the young?
Mike, what do y'all think about that?
I mean, we have a lot of privileges as white individuals, so like be proud, do your own thing, but I don't think like posting that is necessary.
I'm not sure. I would probably resent that group or like the people that were putting.
This is so stupid. You're getting this whole thing about the whole white. Well, yeah, all the white are too privileged. All the white, you know.
What do they do with that?
And it's like, look at the way that our neighbor was with hers. You know, it's oh my god, I'm white. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous.
She turned so pale when I brought that up. She said something about being white, and I kind of like sneered and when it's like, are you suffering from that white guilt, thing? And her face just fell. And she was like, she's like, actually, really, I do. I have to tell you that it's like, it really does, like, bother me sometimes, And I mean, it's like, I'm like, oh, you're serious.
But what white are they talking about?
No, I was gonna say, it's like
white goes a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, there's Scandinavian, there's like lower European,
Irish,
Like I did that phenotyping thing, and they said that I look more like an Ethiopian, but paler skin.
Exactly.
So it's like, it doesn't. It's like, I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like it's not the white thing that was the problem. It was the colonialization.
Yes, it is.
The over colonialization.
But again, what's the best way to separate people? I mean, even the white people, they're separating them by saying, well, oh my God, the white are so privileged. The white are so.
Wait till you see some of Matt Walsh's new stuff. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
The stuff that is like, I mean, they have whole support groups that are run by black people for white people so that they can feel guilty about themselves more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what are you going to do with it? I mean, if you have this privilege, don't you think you should do something with it?
Yeah.
God.
You said something else.
Putting it up. Just because I don't think it's necessary,
Tensions flare over a racially charged sign. It's high time for a genuine discussion on race without the outrage.
First group, I just can't remember. Do you know why they attacked us? Like, what was their reasoning for attacking us?
Exactly.
I don't know necessarily the reason. I mean, they're just considered a terrorist group. I guess that's all we really have on that.
I personally have no idea.
Was it a retaliation of someone who was president at the time, like Bush?
Revenge.
They don't even know.
Or
I don't know, the war they had back then.
I
don't
guess
even know.
to terrorize, I don't know, I guess.
Is this
Probably
the
not.
when you're talking
Try
about?
to bring our country
Just
down, I
sure,
guess.
that's why you-
Because one of the reasons for that, trying to cause chaos.
Why does a lack of understanding about 9/11's
9/11.
impact persist? Maybe we need a history lesson that sticks.
Not looking for like the government to just radically make decisions without looking to the people. What I want to push for is for
Okay, so you just said what you want is a government that will make decisions without looking to the people. So you want a. Okay, so you want a. What do you call it?
Totalitarian.
Communism, right?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I mean
And
that's what that is.
Yeah, I don't think they really hide that because a lot of them are Marxists, and that was what that was all about. So I don't think they really hide that fact too much that they're looking for a communist society.
At one of the gas stations that we were at today in Bakersfield, there was a guy. He was a transporter for vehicles, and he had a nice truck, an older truck on the thing. And I just told him he had a nice truck. And I had walked in to pay for getting gas, and he was like, I was walking out at the time, I guess, and he was going there, and he was all like that to me, and I'm like, so I was like, yeah, there's that experience.
That's Bakersfield.
For the people to push for these policies. I want people to choose these things, and so I want to elect representatives who will pass these socialist policies.
You want people to choose to elect someone to choose to take away their private property rights?
No, it's just like taxes, not private property right.
Well, money is property.
Well, if you consider a tax a violation of private property rights, then sure.
Watching a socialist backtrack when faced with his own words is more satisfying than a plot twist in a thriller.
Present an argument that's actually reasonable against this.
What's bigoted about this?
What's
bigot? You strive on this.
What is bigoted
about
about saying that children cannot consent to puberty blockers?
He has no opinion. You have no opinion.
Well, let's hear your opinion.
Huh?
Let's hear your opinion.
How dare you? I validate this bullshit.
For uproar over puberty blockers, let's dial down the drama and turn up the dial on peer-reviewed studies.
Genderqueer, do
you have that one there?
Yeah, that's another one.
That's one that should be required reading for every adult in the country.
Yeah. Okay.
And
it can be very helpful for students in school.
The graphic novel section of my public library. I have my own personal copy, and it should be required reading for all of those people.
So right here I have genderqueer, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one, but this is available in many middle schools, high schools, maybe even earlier in some places all over the country. Just a couple pages for you I'm going to show you. So right here, there's this minor that got a new fun sex toy, and I apologize for the graphic footage, but I do want to show you someone performing oral. Should this be available for middle schoolers?
Middle schools, I would go along with middle school, but not elementary.
You go middle school.
You know, if you're talking about middle school and, kids are curious, I think it's perfectly appropriate. There's no way I'd ever call that book pornography. Okay.
Even that black guy, though, said, he's like, well, from middle school I can see, but he's like, not elementary school.
I think they're understanding that middle school is between the ages of 10 and 13.
Yeah.
Or 9 and 13.
Then high school goes from 15 to
14 to
14 to 18.
And it's so even if you were saying, okay, for high schoolers, you're still talking about you should probably be waiting at least 2 more years before they have exposure to that. And why in school? Unless it's part of a sex ed program.
Well, yeah, and there's no sex ed program that I know of in middle school. It's all... most of what I've seen is all the freshman year of high school is where it begins.
Huh.
And it's there should not be anything like that administered till at least high school. And it's really funny that you can't go buy magazines like that until at least 18.
Right.
But yet, let's give you a book that instructs you on how to do it.
Right. I mean, we're talking about some degenerate...
At what, 10 years old, they're saying?
10, middle school. So 10...
From 10 to 13, 14.
Yeah.
So that's great. So we might as well just lower the age to 10 years old to buy those magazines.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no other reason.
And it's at a point where the brain is developing, and they've already had studies that prove that if they're exposed to erotic material.
Yes, I have a special on this.
Yeah, that it's it changes. I mean, that was pornography, but I mean, just any kind of erotic material.
Yeah.
Anything that takes them out of the sphere of just nature.
But that I mean, but any of that still is pornography.
It is.
It still is the body naked.
Yeah.
And
sexually explicit acts.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's even if it's just a discussion of it. And it's even culturally, it's that stuff does not even start to be shown until they're 16. It's
yes.
You talk about the nature.
Yes, I would say 16 is a good age to start.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but it's
not younger.
It's degenerate stuff. I mean, he's going to show more, or if he didn't already, I don't know about them, explicit instructions on how to give blowjobs and stuff in middle school.
Yeah. He showed one, and it was to that black guy that it was about.
It was a sex toy or something.
Yeah, and then he said, and also on how to give a blow.
Okay, yeah.
Blowjob.
See, it's like it's instructions. Yeah, see, it's like a freaking comic strip.
Yeah.
And it has to be blurred out for YouTube,
Yeah, exactly.
but yet they're showing it to kids. It's just freaking gross.
It is.
So you think maybe mature-themed books in schools spark controversy? It's either a teachable moment or a parent's nightmare.
Not what the people want.
But this is what the people want.
So then move to another country then.
I'm in Texas, where the people in Texas don't want abortion, so it's illegal in our state.
Every single person in Texas wants an
The
abortion.
majority, aka democracy, is at work.
A problem with the books that they're showing in the schools now too is it's not written. It's not written erotica or anything. It's pictures. You know, it's like it's made for like lower level children. It's pictures.
Yes.
And like I remember reading some kind of racy stuff when I was like 13 or 14. You know, that kind of like had some bedroom scenes and everything. But you know,
Yeah.
But you had to already have the imagination for it to resonate.
Yeah, because they don't show pictures in those books.
Right.
It's words, so
Right.
you have to take the words and you have to put them.
Right. So it was never at all. If I revisited it now, it's like it'd be a totally different picture. You
Yeah.
know? But like at the time, since I didn't have the exposure to that sort of stuff, it was just like, okay, well, this is just an adult thing.
Yeah.
Read the words, get through it. But no, there's like pictures, picture books. They're
Yeah.
all picture books.
So that the kid knows what it's looking at.
Yeah. So it's I don't know.
So it's seared into the
Yeah.
brain. Exactly.
And you can't unsee that shit.
No, you can't. It's the
At work in Texas,
No.
but what the Supreme Court did
go
was
back
put
to Texas.
power
You want
back
to
into
hear.
the state's hands. So good. In Washington, it's legal. In New York, it's legal. In California, it's legal. In Texas, in Tennessee, and these other states, it's not going to be legal. We also have corporations that are going to be busing women to states where they can get an abortion.
And that shouldn't
so
even
there
have
are
to happen.
options.
There should be
But that's
options in
actual democracy, though.
Every single woman should have the option.
Can we agree that that's actual democracy, though?
No, a democracy then it can suck my balls.
Arguments crumble, and so do some pro-choice
Wow.
stances. When logic enters, sometimes passion exits.
Pride flag mean to you?
I know originally the pride flag had more colors and each color symbolized something, but I don't really remember what each one is. But for me, it's a representation, like a symbol of like gay unity, I guess.
Just equality and like just a symbol that like we should be celebrated and that we're equal and we're part of the community too. Like, yeah.
What does the American flag mean to you?
That's a good question. I mean, personally, I don't agree with a lot of things that have happened in America recently, but I mean, this is still my country. Like, I was
Wow.
born here. And like, as much as I don't like it, I would like the American flag to be a symbol like everyone can recognize as a place that is equal. So to me, it's nothing right now, but hopefully in the future, it can be something I could be proud to like wave around or something.
Yeah, after the past few years, I'm just kind of over it. I don't even like seeing it anymore. Until America gets better, I just am not for the flag.
The clash between pride and patriotism.
And America is never going to get better until the woke agenda is eliminated.
And it's like I have an issue with pledging allegiance to the flag and seeing it the way that a lot of people see it. But what I look at is the early days. You know, the
Yes.
original 13 colonies and what those, the red, white, and the blue actually represents and what it meant to people that were starting
Exactly.
all of
Yes.
this. And then the blood that's been shed to this point to make sure that we can retain what freedoms we do have.
Yeah.
You know, the modern flag doesn't have to be tied in with that, but you know, it's like as a symbol of like where we started from and where we're going. That you know, I get that.
Exactly.
You know, and I will never
Yeah.
disrespect it.
No.
Like I won't, you know, religiously
No,
can't
but I
be
mean, you know, there's things that need to be worked on, but
And I mean, if they feel that way, they should fly it upside down because that means that it's a sign of a nation in distress. So
Yeah.
if that's how they feel. But I mean, the flag is still important.
it still is, yeah, because you still live here, you still are here. There, you know, there's, I mean, like you said, there's a lot worse places you could be right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like at least they have the ability to go out on the street and complain about the things that they complain about.
Yeah.
You know, and have the freedom for bodily autonomy and all of that. I mean,
Exactly.
You know, a lot of places don't have that. So it's like you got to see it for what it is and work with what you got.
Yep, you do.
patriotism. Why choose one flag when you can respect both?
You just said that you would never say that you're proud to be white because that's disgusting. Talk to me a bit about that.
It's okay. Whenever anyone talks about what white people have done for this country, especially, it's always white people are on top. They use people of color and minorities to make themselves bigger in this country, and I don't like being like days like this right here. White victims matter. We never said that they did. And people are mad about it. We're trying to bring attention to the certain fact that a population of people is getting completely, like, sorry for my language, on. And people want to protest this, but it's literally in retaliation to the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's
would you say that you're ashamed to be white?
Sometimes, yeah. And if people can say whatever they want to about it, this moment right here makes me feel absolutely disgusted to be white.
So will you apologize on behalf of your entire race for like the oppression of Black people?
From what I can do.
Okay, but she talks about, it makes me disgusted to be white because of this, because of that. But yet, it's not just the whites that do it. There's every race. Yeah, every race has had its issues with it all.
I mean, even within their own culture, within their own tribes.
Yes. I mean, it's so stupid to say that.
And like you said, what does white mean? White. I mean, goddamn it, like I have white skin, but my blood isn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they just gonna like go off of that? I mean, like you said, what do they mean by white? I mean, it's like, I know I've been guilty of that with you. It's like, don't be so white. But it's like, don't like have that Western mentality mindset.
Yes. You got a very strict thing of what that is.
Yeah.
It's not just, it's white.
Like a color of the skin sort of thing. It's like, no, it's just the general attitude, I guess.
Exactly.
Do if people actually give a damn, I apologize for the white people who give a damn.
A white BLM activist denounces her race, perhaps forgetting that self-acceptance is where true change begins.
Mm-hmm.
Place of that. Get the out of here. You look like a idiot. You look like a idiot, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, I'm just filming.
Get that shit from my phone. Get the Black Lives Not Matter? No, Spanish people matter.
This is
Black Lives Matter.
that flag.
Out of here with your stupid shit. Get the out of here with your stupid son. You look like a fucking idiot.
Ma'am, you're not.
Get out of here. I don't give a bitch. Suck my. Get the fuck out of here. You look like a stupid bitch. Fuck police lives.
Right now,
fuck police lives. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
I'm here to express my First Amendment rights. I'm not bothering anybody.
The debate over Police Lives Matter signage gets heated. Can we support law enforcement and still call for reform?
Wall Street Journal, and it said that 9 unarmed Black men were killed last year by police, and that police are 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a Black man than vice versa. What do you guys think about, statistics like that or news stories like that?
I think some statistics are driven to increase that fear in people, because I honestly don't think that is true.
Whenever I hear about statistics, I always kind of get scared because a lot of the times they're warped. A lot of the time they're warped for the police officers that are doing the killings, or making them seem not as, I want to say, bad as the situation was or is.
I agree. I think when you hear statistics, you have to be very critical and look at the source, look at their stance, because statistics are so easily manipulated and you just never know what they're hiding. So I just think you have to be so careful
When facts don't fit the narrative, some BLM activists dismiss them. Isn't truth supposed to be non-negotiable?
And they're out there killing people. Are you risking my life? Are you risking my life by calling the cops? Don't you guys chant that police are out there killing people? Black Lives Matter. Yeah, you're wearing the mask of an organization.
Make America great again, cult. Right?
That cult isn't going around burning cities. Guess what? Let's call it a cult. Let's call it a cult.
Make America great
Why
again.
isn't Trump's cult around and tearing down cities? Why are Trump supporters lighting things on fire?
Black Lives Matter.
Why aren't they?
It's a right.
Yes, it is. It's a cult. It's a terrorist organization. They're a terrorist organization.
What do you say? What do you believe in?
They are.
Do you think all lives matter?
Absolutely. Well, no, not all lives. Not pedophiles. They don't matter. Don't matter. Child predators don't matter. I would say
Yeah, we're just going over. It's like the BLM. Yeah, it was proven. It was, what was the thing? It was about how they were spending the money and stuff.
Yeah, it's actually, it goes back around again to some sort of transgender thing.
Yeah.
Like we found out that the like the owner, not the owner, the operator, the main person, that's the founder.
The founder,
is
yeah.
Either she is or her partner is trans, and a big chunk of the money went to the trans agenda and like promoting things in schools and everything. Didn't really have anything to do with race or anything at all.
Yeah.
And just
and then they went and they bought a house.
They bought several. Like mentioned.
I mean, it was crazy with what they did with that organization.
And it's still going.
Yeah.
You know, so and it's like she's saying the other one, you know, this one is going crazy. She's saying, well, you know, the MAGA group, that's a cult as well, and everybody's like, well, you know, why aren't they burning stuff? Well, there are some extremes.
Yeah, there are. There's always extremes on all sides.
You remember the storming of the Capitol?
Yeah.
And all that was done by them and everything. So it's.
But
like,
I mean, it wasn't done by Trump himself. You know,
No.
he said against it, even though people are like, no, that's why they did it was because of Trump. No, he said against it.
Right, you know, it's just a bit. I mean, there's always going to be, you know, extremists, just like
Yeah.
you know, like the KKK within Christianity. You know, so you see that, or you see the Taliban representing Islam, and it's like that's not it as a whole. But when you look at the BLM, it seems to be as a whole
Exactly.
pretty unreasonable and violent.
Yes.
You know? So it's like you have a small section of these other people that might do some stuff, but then you've got like a whole organization of the BLM.
Yeah, you do.
BLM? Yes.
Yes.
Because it still means something different out here.
I know.
Land management.
Yeah, one of our fire teams out here is the
But-
BLM.
But yeah, I don't think I've really heard of anything good coming from the BLM.
No, I haven't.
I mean, even the Black Panthers back in the day, they started the WIC program.
The what?
The WIC program.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
But BLM, I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But I don't know. I can't think of a single good thing.
Yeah,
that's come
that
from
we
it.
know of, there isn't.
Right.
For sure. If you guys know of anything or know of anyone that has done something different, let us know. Comment. Let us know. We would like to know. I mean, any information. That could be one for Factual Friday. So, but let's move on with this and.
I would say drug traffickers don't really matter either.
So if all lives matter, wouldn't Black lives be a part of it?
Oh, absolutely.
So why don't you agree with Black lives matter?
Well, if Black lives are a part of it, why are you chanting about abortion when 400,000 Black babies are murdered every year?
Where'd you get abortion from? We were just
talking about abortion, and you want to say you believe in Black lives mattering.
I do.
Yes.
Challenging a foundational belief leaves one activist stumped. Sometimes the School of Hard Knocks offers the best education.
What kind of guns would you like to see banned?
Just assault rifles.
Who would support the ban of assault weapons moving forward? Okay, so 5 out of 5 for banning an assault weapon. Do you know what an assault weapon is?
Yeah, it's assault weapon. It's like a I kind of do, but kind of don't.
Okay.
Like
So then you don't.
It's just well.
What is an assault weapon?
Can any of you tell me what an assault weapon is?
I guess. But assault weapons, like, does that sound safe to you?
The same amount of people die by assault weapons as do car crashes in a given year.
As what?
Do car crashes.
Yes, that is the problem. Is people do not know things. Assault weapon is a firearm, is a weapon.
Assault weapon is something that is like a semi-automatic or something that's like doesn't take a lot of trigger power to.
Yeah.
It does like multiple shots usually.
Yeah.
You know, and usually actually it can be used as a baton as well. So it's like that's the technical definition of like an assault weapon. You know, semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Partial club.
And I mean,
they can't even.
No, they can't even say it because they don't know. They're just told, "Oh, assault weapon. That's bad." I mean, one woman said it herself. She was like, "Well, assault. Do you like that?"
Let's see. Hold on. Let's look it up. Let's see.
And you know that was her excuse for it.
But then don't go out on the street.
Yeah.
Protesting and saying this stuff if you don't know.
I mean, I'm all for people owning guns if they want to have guns.
It's the American way.
It's the American way. Have at it. I mean, there's quite a few people that we know that do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we choose not to, but
But doesn't mean we're defenseless.
no, we're not defenseless at all. But I
We
mean,
know how to shoot bows.
Yeah.
Throw some spears and rocks. All right. It says we gotta see what I said. The term assault weapon is generally used to describe a semi-automatic firearm that was originally designed for military use. It has features that make it more lethal and accurate than other firearms.
See, yeah.
So it's basically just a semi-automatic that you can
When
hit people with.
and when some cases like for up where we are in the boondocks in the mountains here.
I don't think there's really a reason for it.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking as far as if you want to precision kill an animal, like a horse or something, and you don't want it
Yeah, no,
suffering
you're not gonna
anymore.
use it. You're not gonna use something like that. I mean, you use like
That's
a,
true.
you use like a shotgun
It
or
would be
something.
more, yeah.
It's like, because that like fires like multiple bullets at once. I mean, I guess it could be effective, but
Well, I mean, if you want to make sure you kill it,
you're
and you're going to.
But like, yeah, I mean,
Because I mean, a shotgun isn't going to guarantee. Yeah.
well,
And then people are doing the sawed-off shotgun techniques, and
the general rifle is usually sufficient
Yeah.
enough out here. If you're like growing or whatever, you might want to consider something more. But in California, they're banned completely.
and I mean, a lot of people that I know have the guns for their right as a citizen to, but really we can't protect against the government no
No.
matter what. They've got so much more firepower.
Well, it's small little hamlets like this that have always overthrown governments, though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we shouldn't underestimate ourselves, but it's just really scary when you see the kind of technology that they have.
I know. And like here in California, especially, our ammunition is so hard to get. Like you can get guns, easy enough.
Reasonably, yeah.
But then the ammo is our problem. The ammo is where they're like finding ways around it.
Well, number one, it's like you can only buy so much per year
Yeah.
as an individual. And number two, you can't get the lead-based products anymore because
No.
they claim that people were shooting animals and leaving them with the lead, and then other animals were eating those, and they were getting lead poisoning. And I never really saw much about that, honestly. But it just seems
Also,
like another
the
psyops.
lead-based ones start fires.
I mean, when they
A ricochet. No, the other ones don't. The
so
other.
they don't start fires in any other state,
Well, I'm sure.
like Colorado. Or
I'm sure,
Arizona.
but I'm saying like the other whatever they were using after that, whatever they replaced the lead with, wasn't starting fires on a
It's
ricochet.
aluminum, I think.
Yeah, I think aluminum.
Yeah, but
But-
so you don't get the density and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like you're having to waste shots if you are a hunter. And yeah, I don't know.
Or you just better get better.
Yeah, I know that assault weapons are completely banned here, and we know that.
Yeah.
And we knew that, and somebody we knew that, and he got caught anyway, being stupid.
Yeah.
It's like
I
drinking
told
on
him.
top of it.
I told him.
And he said it too. He's
That
like,
day.
He's like, if we get caught with this and you don't know anything about the guns in the trunk, and it's like, why would you even say that?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Because he knew he was at the end of his time.
Oh.
He knew it.
I mean, he got caught in one of the worst counties for that.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him since.
No. He said, I feel like earlier he said, not gonna lie, complaining about these people feels good as it should. And I said, I know, our little weekly judging fest before going back to selfless service. He said, I feel like all the past philosophers would talk smack about these people. Precisely. Like, yeah, I can see Socrates and everybody's hanging around. It's like, oh my God, can you believe these woke?
Yep. It's funny. It's like I don't think that we even got past this first. We're not done with this first one yet, and I think we're almost at an hour.
I know.
It's a similar number.
Okay.
Um,
It's
A
not
little
actually.
more.
Or isn't it similar?
No, it's not. So assault weapons count for about 3% of gun deaths, and car crashes are about the leading cause.
Okay, I thought that.
The assault weapons ban debate gets tangled in definitions. If you're
I'm
going to
glad when the
advocate for
guys do,
change,
though, that
know
do
your
the
stuff.
debate.
If this is really about
The debate.
choice, why isn't
That,
she letting? She has Black Lives Matter on her car, and she's blocking the testimony from a black woman. I thought you thought Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, let her share her testimony. Black Lives Matter, right? Does her
Liberty,
black
yeah,
right?
man.
No. Sis, meet me at the mattress firm real quick.
When a pro-life message is censored, it's not just about abortion. It's about whether every voice truly matters. For more wokey videos, click on the
That was a good
screen
one.
right now. Think you've heard it all? Gear up for today's fiery debates and flip your perspective. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or you might just miss out on the truth.
I am trapped in an elevator right now. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit my fault because there's people who were in the elevator that came out while I was waiting for it and said, oh, hey, we're not sure if this elevator is working, but like the elevator looked like it was working when they walked out. So I was like, what's the worst that could happen? And I pressed the button and the door closed. And then the buttons didn't work. I pressed the call button and it went to my apartment person. Of course, they called me sir as soon as I said hello. Hello, sir.
Stuck in.
Especially somebody in an elevator. If you talk the way you sound like a sir.
You
Now,
know, you know who that is, right?
yeah, I know exactly who it is.
Always something.
Yes, always. Oh my, they misgendered me. They misgendered me. I mean, the trans community is getting tired of this guy.
Oh my god, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that says a lot about it, though. If the trans community is getting tired of this guy.
You know, who's somebody else I haven't heard about for a while is Dylan Mulvaney.
No, I haven't heard about him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like supposed to be representing a woman, but
Okay.
the last thing that I heard was he did that music video about, what it's like to be a woman, and then that was like it. And I'm just really hoping that this one goes the same way because I'm so sick of it.
I know. I agree. Here's the
In an
banana.
elevator, and we're debating pronouns. Let's talk priorities and whether our societal focus might need a little adjustment.
She was recently crowned the winner of the Alabama National American Miss Pageant, which now entitles her
Hold on. Alabama Mondays.
to represent the state of Alabama at the national level. When the pageantry itself makes this statement like they did, we could not be more ecstatic for this gorgeous legend.
Is that copyrighted, lazy?
Okay. What kind of a legend are we talking about? Is that the number one killer in our society is clinical obesity. And right now, they're trying to convince us that sickness is health.
Body positivity is one thing, but where do we draw the line between celebrating diversity and ignoring health?
My son does identify as a cat, but I cannot take him to a vet because I tried that and the veterinarian told
How's our internet?
What's wrong?
What's it?
he has him. So, and while I do think that is a form of discrimination because, my son, if he says he's a cat, he is a cat. But this is something that I want to raise awareness on.
Yeah.
Because I do think that people that identify as an
Yes, please tell us that this lady is satire because yeah.
I know.
animal should be able to go to the vet.
Modern parenting or modern madness? Let's unpack why a parent might consider a vet visit for a child who...
That's fine. That's fine. Let's take him to a vet. Let's go get him neutered and see how that goes over.
Oh my god. I mean, they might as well. I was thinking, well, it's probably cheaper than going to the doctor, but now I'm not so sure.
No.
Who identifies as a cat.
How many illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants do you think there are in the U.S. right now?
Something like 12 to 15 million, maybe.
Where do you think the number could get to?
Ironically, out here, they're pretty much one and the same because I got a lot of stuff done from vets. And
Yeah.
A lot of people get a lot of stuff done from vets out here.
Yeah.
For the precise reason that they couldn't afford or could not get into the ER that day.
Oh yeah, because it's most generally just either stitches or like medication like penicillin or
Right,
something
exactly.
else that's needed.
It's like,
And this is Israel.
yes, that's Israel.
He identifies as a person.
And he got trapped yesterday
Yeah, he got trapped yesterday.
at a neighbor's house.
Huh.
I hope he learned his lesson.
He identifies as a person.
He
That's what
identifies
he
as a person,
says.
so now he has to go to the doctor and he has to pay taxes and
Yes.
he has to do all this stuff. So. Yeah. Like, nope, I'm not cat again.
Yep.
I would be fine with 100 million. That's like a third or a quarter of the population. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, this whole thing about that there's a limited amount of resources, in one sense it's true. Scientifically, it's possible to, in the world, to create a good life for everyone.
The immigration debate is boiling over. Are we talking about people or just numbers? Let's break down what a policy for 100 million could look
There's
like.
a chat
Be
on
blind.
this one.
You know what
Okay,
happens
show the
for a
little chat
legal
right here in the
immigrant?
corner
Let's say a
of the
legal immigrant from Indonesia. If they want to come to America, they have to prove to the embassy in America that they have not committed a crime for 2 years. If they get sometimes a speeding ticket equivalent in Indonesia or in Korea, their visa will be yanked almost instantaneously. So we have a double standard immigration system. One, where the rest of the world has to operate with a clean bill of health criminally, that they can't break any laws in their home country and they can't break any laws here because they might be subject to deportation or not coming into the country. And we have a whole different set of laws if you jump across the border. That's not fair and it's not sustainable, because what now ends up happening is you have anywhere between 15 to 21 million people, could be even more than that.
Charlie Kirk throws a spotlight on double standards in immigration. Is there a middle ground, or are we all just picking sides?
Argument apply to the 13-year-old situation then? Since that's not a consenting adult, if like the person who is pregnant. You can't consent if you're not. If you're a minor, you can't consent to anything.
So should you, if you're a minor, should you be able to have an abortion without your parents' consent?
Yes. Going to harm you in the
Are you
future,
kidding?
your whole life ahead.
You just said you're a minor.
They just said if you're a minor, you cannot consent to anything. And then get asked, okay, if it's a minor and they want an abortion, should they be allowed the abortion without their parents' consent? And they say yes.
They're just like trained to answer certain things a certain way. They don't think about the rationality in between. You know,
No.
You just said this. Just like there was this lady that was asked about tattoos, saying, "Would you like?"
Yes, I remember that one.
Give your child tattoos, and it's, "Oh no, why? Well, why? Because that's permanent." But you'd give them puberty blockers.
Yeah, because they're not permanent. That's what, you know.
I don't know where they're getting that from.
I don't either.
Because,
I really don't.
What are they being just told that they don't do
Yeah.
their own research or something?
Yeah, the doctors just say no, it's reversible. So I mean,
So they go off of one doctor.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what happened?
one
to
doctor that's, you know,
Exactly.
that's paid and sent on vacations, you know,
Mhm. This new,
to push it.
opioid epidemic thing.
Yeah.
It's like when I was doing my research today, I found out that like 5% of the population, between 5 and 15% of the population is childless. So if you just cut that in half and say, okay, well, half of them want to be child free, that's like what? Okay, say 7%. There was another 3% that had become unfertile because of medications.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then another like 3% identified as homosexuals that didn't want children either or couldn't have children either biologically. So when I did the math, it almost came up to like 25% of the population, the Western population, that doesn't want to have anything to do with the family unit. For
Wow.
one reason or another, or is unable to because of such things like, you know, but they say that, you know, there's no harmful effects. And it's,
There you go.
know, and it's like, well, but 3% of it was permanent
Yeah.
damage done to people who actually wanted to have children and could no longer have children because they were transitioned.
Exactly.
You know, whether it was chemically or through surgery.
Yeah.
And if they could have children, a lot of them couldn't breastfeed and stuff too. So there's that.
I know. They get destroyed.
Yeah.
And they're not told this.
No. And
They're-
even if they are told some semblance of it, they can't understand it.
No.
You know?
I mean, this kills people. And they're trying to say, well, the suicide rate for people not allowed. The suicide rate afterwards is just as bad, if not worse.
Right. And
Because these people are ruined.
And I want to know what they're comparing that to, because the suicide rate among young people in general has skyrocketed
Yeah.
over the past 20 to 25 years.
It's the internet. It's cyberbullying
Yeah.
that has caused that. You know, the kids used to go, you know, get picked on, go home, they could get away from it,
Right.
they could be fine. But now
It's there.
it's everywhere. No matter what you do, you can't get away from it.
It's like they just need to be taught, it's like this is just a moment in time. This is a snapshot, and nothing lasts forever.
Yes.
And if it's something incriminating, it's not gonna last forever.
You've said some of the best things with that, just about you have to understand who you are and stand firm in what you believe in.
Yeah, and it's like there's like this sextortion that's
Yeah.
happening like with young like boys and girls of Tristan's age to about 17 years, and they make a mistake and they send a nude photo to somebody, and that person goes and threatens to send it out to a bunch of people unless you give them money. If you give them money, send them PayPal, send them Venmo, do this, and then they sometimes send it out anyway, and these kids will kill themselves. One kid killed himself within an hour.
Yeah.
It's like it's not gonna last.
We've
forever.
seen, I know in the last couple of months, we've seen like 3 different documentaries about girls having this happen.
Right, and it's like they have to understand. It's like it's not nothing. You made a mistake.
Yes, but
it can't get worse.
The problem is it's high school, and you're already in a state of it's the end of the world if something happens.
Right. Well, that comes down to parenting. Changing
It does. Yes.
Changing the parenting techniques.
Yes, it does.
It's down to us to instill that thicker skin, and say this is just how it is, and this is nothing. This is 4 years of your life. It's a flash in the pan, and it's like it's good and informative times, but it isn't end all be all of your life.
Exactly.
It's so small.
Yes.
But it comes down to a parenting issue. It's like, but you've got Gen Z who hide from their own feelings and have major anxiety issues.
Yes.
And stuff, so it's like being pushed down onto the next generation, and anyway, suicide in general is it's like astronomically higher.
It is, and it's sad.
So it's not just the trans kids.
No,
it's all kids.
Yeah, it's all. Because we got off topic with that a little bit because it wasn't about trans, but that's what it is. It's all kids.
Yeah.
It's not, it's these teenagers are stuck in this motion of their world is everything.
Right.
Like instead of knowing that it will pass.
Right. It's like everything passes, and it might live on the internet forever, but it doesn't have to
affect you.
Right. It's like people get bored of looking at it.
Yeah.
It's just that's how humans are. They get bored of looking at it. So it's like
for the most part, all that the girls do, and the girls are the worst at this. They truly are. The high school girls.
I think so. I don't know. Like I saw 2 cases where they were boys.
But for the most part, from what I've seen, the girls are just downright nasty.
Yeah, well, it's true. I think that they have more staying power than the guys do. They'll be in this shit for the long haul, and I used to be kind of one of those that like to troll people and do stuff like that. Not like to an extreme degree, but just like bug them.
Yeah.
And really get under their skin with things that I would say and stuff. And so it's like, and it's long term. We'll go years.
Exactly.
It's like little bits here, and then it's like you let them start to relax, and then you send another message, or you bring up the picture again, or something.
Yep.
It's like, it's vicious, and it's not just me that's doing that; it's everybody that I know that's doing that.
Yeah.
So I have to agree. It's just, it's like, it's a sad state right now.
It is
in the West, with suicide rates, and I know that like even in Japan and stuff, they've had like a spike in that.
And the opioid addiction increases this 2 to 3 fold.
Yeah.
Because they can just pop pills and end it. It's the end all. It's a nice. They just go to sleep.
Yeah. I know they don't. They don't take violent means out. It's either that or they hang themselves.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
But the pills have increased it though.
Right.
Because it is an easy out.
Right. And it's not just they don't get the pills from themselves. They get it from mommy and daddy's cabinet.
Yeah. And mommy and daddy think that they have it in a safe, secure location. That their kids won't go and do this. Right.
It's like you have to have honest conversations.
Yes, you
with
do.
Your offspring,
Because these people just think, well, okay, I'll just end my life and this will end it, and they're not understanding a lot more to life than what they know. It doesn't just end it,
if you don't get to opt out for such trivial
and
reasons.
it doesn't just end you. This could end 5 or 6 different people.
I know,
somebody that you are close to, your parents,
It's very,
a spouse.
very selfish
There's
way to
so many. And it's like they just want the easy way out, which is not it is not as easy as they think it is.
No, and it is a very selfish way to think about it.
Yes.
And I'm not totally against suicide.
No, no, not at all.
Like euthanasia, but like with everything else, you have to earn your way out of it, and there has to be certain conditions.
Yes.
That met. It's between you and the gods. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen to you, but it's like there's certain circumstances I can see it, but like I said, it would have to be a mutual thing, and it would have to be like the end of the freaking world.
Yes. Yes.
But it's like I said, nobody likes to suffer, and nobody wants to see what's on the other side of the suffering.
They don't.
They miss out.
Yeah.
You know? And we believe in reincarnation, and people that do that, they get sent back a few steps. You know, they're going to suffer more in the next life because you've done that.
Yes.
You know. So mental health, though, in this country is just
insane.
Plummeted. Like I said, everything that I read today was so sickening. The way that people
I know.
think, whether
I'll have to read what you
I've got a bunch
read,
of stuff.
but
I know that. Let's talk about it at the end.
yeah, we got to try to get through this one because we're already over an hour.
Minor, you can't consent to anything. And I said, if you're a minor, can you consent to having an abortion? And you just said yes. Do you understand how that's illogical?
Abortion debates are never simple, but when arguments get heated, it's time to dissect what's really being said.
I mean, I think there are some things that some minorities may not have, like certain resources they won't always have access to.
What about white people that don't have those resources too?
That also happens, but minorities, it probably might be more common than white people.
Why would you say that?
Different statistics that I've looked at and sources.
Is it really about resources or is it about perception?
Different statistics that I've seen and resources. Name them. Please name them.
Everyone got screenshots.
Yeah.
Everyone's got screenshots. Right
Three different resources at least. Yeah.
From the left, from the right, and the middle.
Yes.
You know, if you can. And, you know,
For your point.
Yep. And it's like, that's not hard. I mean, especially if you're going out there and protesting and saying this stuff.
Yes.
You should really know.
You know. Yeah, please.
Let's dive into claims of racial disparities and uncover some uncomfortable truths.
So that would then implicate the use of pronouns, right? So you said she, her. So it's not necessarily about trans; it's about the non-binary piece. If someone, you mentioned about feelings.
Everybody, like regardless of whether you're cis, you're trans, you're non-binary, whatever you want to identify as, I think you should be comfortable identifying that, and I think people should refer to you as you want to be referred. Surely.
No different from any other pronoun, right?
Yeah.
Like Mr. or...
Yeah. Just I think if you tell someone once, they should honour that, and yeah.
So if I clearly look like a male, which hopefully I do, if we were talking and I said, actually, my name's Sally, the theory is that you should just accept that, and it's actually, or Anne, for example, it should just be.
Yeah, I think.
The pronoun predicament. Are we advancing inclusivity or just complicating communication? Let's decode the social script.
If I identified as a female, you'd be cool if I went to your school you grew up with?
Well, I mean, yes.
Really? Okay.
I personally
Even though my chromosomal structure is XY, not XX. So you think so I should be allowed in your locker room?
I mean, personally, I think that.
I really?
Yeah.
So like 13-year-old girls with 13-year-old guys, perfectly cool.
But you're not a guy. You're a girl if you identify as a girl.
Well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm a guy. Why are you assuming my gender? Do you see where things can get into utter and total chaos and confusion rather quickly?
Ever seen a student left speechless by a tough question? There's a lesson here about being prepared beyond our echo chambers.
Say it again. I'm going to say it again, and it's the exact same thing I said earlier. I refuse to take a black person seriously that wants to talk to me about the 0.00004% of black people, unarmed black people that are shot by police officers, and does not want to have a conversation with me about the 17 million black babies that were aborted. No. What you guys are boycotting, you're focused on things that are not negatively. More black people were got struck by lightning in 2016 than shot by police. More police officers were shot by black people than the other way around. So what it comes down to is this is a lot of motion and there's no fact. That's what it comes down to. There's no fact.
When facts meet ideology, sparks fly. Let's explore how debates can turn into educational moments.
Which one was it? We got him on camera. So there we go. Anti-Nazis have attacked the only Jew in the crowd.
Press freedom versus public order. A journalist's clash with protesters brings up big questions about rights and responsibilities.
Chase, would you rather smash the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? Honestly, bro, the oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay.
Let me get out of this one.
But see, it's showing this much on, like, it's still showing that there's...
What?
I wanna...
Sorry.
What?
Chase,
Yeah.
how dare you be transphobic?
Yeah.
Had sex with a trans.
Hold on a second. Let it buffer for a second.
I'm trying to keep this going so that we can get through this, and then we'll talk at the end of all of it. But I wanted to get through this one.
Okay.
I'd be having sex with a biological man, and I don't want to do that.
The question is,
That's not what you said, though. That's fine. If that's
Because
what you
I'd
want
be
to say.
gay if I had sex
That's
with a
not
biological
gay.
man.
That's not gay.
That's
And I
gay.
don't care if you're doing this for like whatever, but like shut the fuck up.
I'm not
Actually,
gay.
you look like you have a
Hey,
leader.
why don't
That's
you
too far. That's
Why
too
don't you
fucking
make
far.
me
That's
shut
too
the
far.
fuck up? Because I have an opinion that differs from yours.
Gender and sports, not just a game anymore. We're dissecting how this debate impacts more than just the players.
Freedom and the ability to get an abortion, but do you agree that abortion's the act itself is a bad thing?
Such a good question. I think an abortion in by itself is a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing for the woman, for her family, and I think we should support them, not tell them what to do.
What about half of the women that are aborted, the unborn babies? Half of them, ballpark, are women or young. What about those women?
I think that's all I'm going to say. But
okay,
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Good luck today.
Abortion rights and wrongs, a conversation that's as divisive as it is critical. Where do facts end and emotions begin?
It has anything to do with the jobs that women pick, that women tend to pick compared to men, or the majors they have in college that they tend to pick, or hours worked, anything like that?
Not at all. I work the exact same job and the exact same hours as my boyfriend, and he makes it.
Really? What job is that?
I work in compliance for a financial institution.
And you get paid significantly less than him?
It's $1,000 a year, but I mean it's different because it's not like I work less hours than him. It's not like I work at.
Did you ever call them out? Do you want to?
No, I haven't. I'm not a confrontational person in that way. I plan on asking for a raise, yes, but it's not something that I'm going to go up to the company and be like, y'all are f***ing up.
Well, if they're paying him and he's a man, and it's because he's a man?
I don't know if that's the case. It could be his performance is better than mine. You know, a lot of times they say it's based off of performance value.
Discussing the gender pay gap often brings more heat than light. Let's try to find some clarity amidst the shout.
If you look at a weapon of war, if you could have an AR-15, why couldn't you have a nuclear weapon?
You don't need an assault rifle. You don't need a civilian doesn't need it. I have face tattoos. Like, I don't need to be owning a gun. I'm irresponsible already.
This was a just impulsive morning thought, kittens, not guns, since I had the t-shirt.
Gun control, cutting through the rhetoric to understand the real arguments on both sides.
You call MS-13 animals?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about that?
I think he's a pig.
An animal. I mean, you smell your own, I guess.
Maybe not all people in that group are animals.
No, they're not animals at all. They're human beings just like all of us. I think he's a pig. He's just using that as an excuse to, I don't know, justify his being such a racist.
And then this week, Trump made the comment about MS-13 being animals. Did you hear about that?
I did.
What do you think about that?
I think he's criticizing his own American.
Gangs and political discourse. Are we underestimating the problem, or is it being used as a scare tactic?
We're not transphobic. Are you aware that most of the people who have bans and what you are fighting for is transphobic? You are being transphobic against kids like myself and other people before.
Would you care to explain what that means, what transphobia means?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Trans rights discussions often miss the mark. Let's talk about why these conversations matter without getting lost in the noise.
That men who identify as women, they actually have the brains of women, right? And women who identify as men, they actually have the brains of men. So I would ask you, how do men and women differ by their brains? Would you say one is a little smarter than the other, one's a little sharper? Or those women, maybe they're a little more emotional. Men, they're a little better at keeping a level head. What would you say is the difference?
This person's probably not going to have an answer.
No. They
won't. But it's true that they've done tests where like certain parts of the brain will light up regarding different stimuli or whatever. Or there's one part of the brain that's more developed, like in the emotional center or whatever, that might potentially make a male more effeminate or female more masculine.
Of course.
But a lot of it is conditioning as well, depending on how they're raised. If they're forced to be in that role.
If a guy was raised by his mother without a father, more than likely he's going to be more feminine.
Right.
It's because the mother cannot be masculine enough to counterbalance everything.
And like we said, when she is masculine frame, it's chaotic and it's loud.
Chaotic masculine, yes.
It's mean and it's,
exactly
not helpful or conducive to the upbringing of child.
Yes.
So it's like, you saw.
So the perfect thing would be if there's a boy out there or a guy, he needs his father.
Yeah.
If it's a woman, they need the mother.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it works so that they can live a decent life the way that they are supposed to.
They need both.
Yeah, they do need both, no doubt.
Because without the fatherly structure for us women, we become even more chaotic.
Yes.
So it's it's just no matter how you slice it, you just need both parents to be active.
For sure. But I'm saying if there is just going to be one,
right,
it needs to be the same sex.
Yeah, I don't know that it did me any good to have my mother like that. But I guess it did. I mean, it's like I'm strong and I can.
You're still really good. I mean, right. for how you were raised, for what happened, you have the perfect spiritual center.
Yeah. And
you have it.
When I lose it.
Well, yeah.
Then it's like when I revert back to that.
But you did have a father figure in the thing. You had a couple of them.
Yeah, but I learned to not trust them and I disrespected them.
But see, that's the problem. You learn different things that way.
So it's only been through your masculine frame when you don't react to things.
Yes.
And you just keep coming back and you just stick it out and you're like, okay, I'll just take this take your lickings and then come back around and do what you're supposed to do. It's only through that I've learned how men are supposed to be. So
exactly.
It's I don't know. They always talk about mothers not being in the household, and I think that's part of it. But I do think a big problem is the fatherlessness. There's no masculine leadership. But as far as this goes, yeah, I mean there has been studies that show that the brain does develop differently if you happen to be homosexual or identifying as trans or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not like you have a different brain. It's the shape. Shaped the same. It's just
always is, yes.
But it just develops in different ways. Also, taking birth control while you're pregnant because of the extra progesterone that's
will make the kid
develop more feminine and
exactly.
So there are factors, but I bet you this person's not going to know any of that.
Probably not.
Is that Michael Knowles?
Yeah, that's the guy from Daily Wire. Yeah, other co-owner.
Difference between the male and the female brain.
So some of the research that they've shown is different sizes of different portions of the brain. I don't have the actual facts in front of my face. I simply only have the actual findings of the research.
I raise the question because I think you've unwittingly accepted a premise that is contrary to the liberal point of view, which is that men and women have these fundamentally different.
When a feminist and a speaker clash, it's not just about opinions. It's about understanding the foundations of our beliefs.
Want to catch Wokey moments in 4K? Watch till the end. Subscribe, like the video, and comment Wokies for a chance to win a brand new iPhone 16 or a cash prize. Also, don't forget to check out the next video on the end screen for more chances to win.
Puberty blockers are life-saving.
It'd be a good one,
said they can be. The evidence is the encounters with patients who have had these procedures done, and it has saved I don't want to say it saved their lives, but it has made their lives better. I can't confirm whether or not they're alive right this second, but there are children that it has helped. So what do you have to say for the happy trans community who has benefited from these procedures? That's my
I
question
guess what I
for
have
you.
to say is that your entire question is built on a whole stack of false premises that you can't begin to even remotely defend. So,
thank you, Matt Walsh. Again, I mean, he comes at it with such grace and dignity and sarcasm.
Yep.
Let's not forget the sarcasm
Yes,
because
I
it's all there.
I love the flat affect. There you
Yes.
go. We had a friend in high school that would have like totally matched this role.
Yes, I know.
He could have been the Matt Walsh of, but I don't know what happened.
I haven't even heard from him in a long time.
But I bet you he's part of the woke community. So.
Yep.
it's a faulty question from the start. I reject your premise. I absolutely reject that there are any kids who need to be chemically castrated in order to be happy.
Okay.
Discussing child transitions in trans communities requires sensitivity and facts. Let's approach this with the respect it deserves.
As the murder of babies, which biological fact is you would say most abortions are done before they are actually babies. It's still just a fetus. So my
Do you
question,
know what the word fetus means?
it's just a cluster, a
That's
zygote
not what
developing
fetus
into
is.
a baby eventually.
The word fetus, it's a Latin word, and it just means offspring. That's all it means. It just means the next
Does that mean
generation of a
baby?
being. So, but that's what a baby is also. I mean, that's what you would call your adult child someday once he's grown, hopefully if he hasn't been
Can I
murdered.
ask my
You would-
question?
Well, I'm just like to clarify this point. You would call your adult child your offspring too, but all of these terms that you might use, fetus, embryo, the one they love is zygote, which sounds like a Pokemon, but they use all these different terms, but it's all referring to the same being, and you were that being once. You, the person who's standing here right now.
Do any of us have a memory of being that being?
No, I mean, I don't have a memory of last Thursday, frankly. It's been a very busy week, but the lack of a memory doesn't mean it's all right to murder me.
Rethinking abortion debates. It's time to challenge both sides to bring more to the table than just their convictions.
Give me one example. Give me one piece of evidence that there's a target on Black people's back. In fact, I will submit to you there's the opposite. Black students can get into this college with lower test scores than white students. It's called affirmative action.
So now white people
Yeah.
are the people who are struggling?
No,
Are
but
they
I'm-
the marginalized ones?
I will go back to this, though. Can you name a specific example of what a Black person cannot do that a white person can do? And be, again, specific. Anything.
I'm talking about so racism as a whole is not written in the law because that's not allowed anymore.
I think so.
But it still exists.
Then give me an example.
I just told you.
You said police brutality is your example. Why do you think Blacks encounter police so much? They commit more crimes.
It always gets me because they talk about being treated unfairly by the cops.
Yeah.
And they say it's like, well, Black people are more subjected to it. And I think there's some statistics from the city that say that maybe. But like out here, I mean, it's always the white tweakers.
Yeah.
that are getting
and it's funny
arrested.
because he was talking earlier on when we were listening to him, and he talked about the whole Black community and the whites and stuff. Well, the Black community, the people being shot by officers was low, but yet the Black guys shooting cops was enormously high.
Right.
So it's a complete opposite of what you hear.
Right. And it's like, because I guess because they just, I don't know if it's media or whatever, they put that out, but
yeah,
when you live in person and you see it in person, you understand that it isn't a race thing, it's a poverty level thing.
Yes.
Like we at this level making less than $60,000 a year are always targeted by authority.
Yeah, we are,
Whether
for
it's-
sure.
Whether it's cops, whether it's animal control for us, it's like
Because we have the most push.
yeah.
We can be the most dangerous.
Right.
So they want to try to set the example on people like us, especially if it's got a YouTube channel or anything else. I mean, they're really going to put it down on us.
Yeah. And it's like they make it so hard for us to maintain any sort of you get business licenses. I mean, you
Yes.
get everything, especially in California. So it's like, I know people. I mean, you were stopped. You've been stopped on the street walking, thinking that you might be a suspect of
Yeah, I have.
some robbery somewhere.
At least twice.
And it's just it's a poverty level thing.
It is.
Like when I was living with my mother and she was making more money as a nurse and stuff, we didn't get bothered, But when we dropped down into a different bracket, You know, so it isn't a race thing.
No, it's not
just
at all.
a money thing.
Yeah.
But that always gets me that they say that this is, you know, like a race thing. I'm like, well, maybe it's different in the cities. I don't know. I think it's just money.
All right, this is almost over. Let's finish this, and then we can close her out.
There is
And not just like a little bit more.
policing.
No, there's
Charlie Kirk on racism, a provocative take that demands a closer look. Are we really addressing the issues or just dancing around them?
That's what I'm as a black person.
That happened to you.
I'm saying that happened to me. What I'm saying is yes. I'm saying it happened. And I happen to be black. Yes.
Alea, I want to talk about.
But wait a minute. I like to respond to that. I see you set back. You're frustrated.
Listen.
I'd like you to respond.
I will.
Yeah.
You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All I want to say is that I can fight with you if we have evidence. If you went to the bank and you have evidence that they've been giving loans to people with equal qualification as you have, and because you being black, they denied you, let's go to the bank and let's show up. Let's pull up.
No kidding.
But the thing is that it's not fair to make that determination without unequivocal facts, because what it does is it generates this idea that it's because you're black. There may be something or that you could have changed on you when you made the application or not that could have caused you to get the loan.
A BLM activist and a skeptical voice clash. What can this tell us about the state of racial discussions today? For more Wokey videos, click on the screen right now.
Come.
What the hell is even that? After years of coddling and pampering, some folks just can't take it when things don't.
Okay. All right. Sorry that we can't get to more of these. We're already over our time. But either way, I really enjoyed this. I needed it after this full day that I had today. Starting to fade now. But thank you, Sancho, for joining us. Had a great one.
It was a good stream.
It
Lots
was.
of discussions, you know.
Yes.
Those were new clips, and it kind of covered a broad range of things.
Yeah, it did.
This Friday, you said you wanted to cover the UFOs in Lancaster?
Yes, I'm going to be digging deep on this one, and I'm going to try to find all of the facts. It's not called Factual Fridays for no reason. I want to make sure that we have everything out there possible, and this one might even turn out to be like an hour and a half also, or
yeah, I got a couple of sources to pull. Unfortunately, my original sources that I saw, I think I have screenshots of only. And
yeah, because things are disappearing.
Yeah, like the news. Like it was on the local news.
Yeah.
Now I can't find that at all.
So if any of you out there, Sancho, Chatty Charlie, if any of you have any information on this that you find, send it my way. We'll try and get this one big. And
Sancho's from the area. He's from California, right? So
by Bakersfield.
Yeah. So if you have any footage or if you heard about this, let us know. It was the Palmdale
Lancaster incident. Yeah. UFO.
They said it looked like drones, and it does kind of look like drones.
But they don't move the same way.
Right.
I mean, drones, you can tell.
And then they were turning around trying to say that it was from Pokemon Show in Hawaii, and I'm like, Hawaii doesn't have those kinds of trees or those kinds of houses. You know, this is definitely California. So we're gonna go see if we can find some stuff out about that.
We're gonna go digging.
There's definitely been like an uptick of UFO activity and.
There has, Then like tonight just feels weird too. I think that something might be coming, so we'll see what happens.
We're always waiting for the earthquake. I know we're gonna have floods. We've already had fires. So.
Yep, we had the big fire. I mean, that was enough excitement for a while for us here.
Another 5 years or so.
Yeah. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Namaste. All my fans, followers, and acquaintances out there.
Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. And I'll have Discord and Google up your Gmail up soon.
Yeah.
I'm making a new banner.
So, awesome. Yeah. Look forward to that.
Good job.
I am out. Not quite. Dude, he's had 4 more that we didn't see.
Really? Oh, yeah. So, there was a bunch. Are you still live?
Yes, it hasn't ended yet.
So yeah, there's a bunch of comments here that I didn't get to see, Sancho. For some reason, they didn't pop up here.
Including blacks. Yeah.
Yeah. He's telling me earlier that there's plenty of body cam footage and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's any up that we didn't get to see.
It all looks the same.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Good night. Thank you for joining us. Now I'm out of here.